All right, this is a YouTube exclusive for the Mindless Wrestling Podcast. A little bit of creative huddle before we go live here tonight. The first thing I was commenting a minute ago, guys, look at Jason with the fresh haircut, the fresh beard cleanup. I mean,
oh my god,
look at that!
Once I show you the final part of the transformation, you might think I'm a whole different person. Look at this.
He has notes I made. Look at that, a page and a half of notes.
Page and a half of notes.
I'm
ready, fellas.
Underprepared.
So I don't know if you guys heard the entire interviews with Pat McAfee doing both Brock and Vince. I listened to them both today. They're fantastic. If you haven't listened to them, if we all have, or if you all want to go ahead, I'd love to talk about them. But obviously, there's a million other things going on, and we can kind of punt that if we need to. No big deal to me. I just, as I was saying in the chat, my big thing is like, let's just get through Punk, because I feel like everything else that we're gonna say is positive. Like there's some good things going on. Let's shit on Punk. Let's shit on AEW right off the rip, and then just
we can absolutely do that. So everybody cool with that? Get the Punk stuff out of the way now.
Yeah.
All right. And then from what's up, Jace?
Is my voice and everything good? Voice audio fine?
Yeah, you sound good. You sound good. You look good. So
could be better. Awesome.
Hey, everybody sounds good. Everybody looks good. I mean, as good as I can look, I look good.
Right. So, Jason looks the best, obviously.
Yeah, Jason's all cleaned up, man. I'm gonna look at that. It's like,
thank you, fellas.
So after that, do we want to go right into the Pat McAfee interviews?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
do that.
Pat McAfee interviews with Vince and Brock. I mean, we kind of talked about Brock a little bit the last episode because we were kind of piggybacking on something Meltzer said about the interview. But we can, Jason, you watched it. I have not seen the full interview yet. I've only seen excerpts.
And I've just got little bullet points of like, oh, he talked about this. Obviously, we don't have to talk about this, but everybody knows this about Brock. It's funny. And then just go on to the next thing. I've got bullet points I can just fire through. And you can just stop if somebody's got something to say.
Okay, and then we'll probably spend. I would imagine we're going to spend the meat and the potatoes of this episode probably talking about Vince because there's a lot going on there.
Mm-hmm.
What else were we kicking around? Rob, you wanted to talk about Keith Lee.
Yeah.
And then I think we can actually segue from the Vince interview because it's all relevant from when we start talking about the releases and things like that, and the Keith Lee thing because I think what you wanted to talk about is relevant to all that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Keith Lee will work in there for Rob and get our 2 cents in there. And then the last thing, Jace, I'm going to shoot you something. Well, not the last thing because I know there was other stuff we wanted to talk about. They shared something with me on Twitter that I don't think you were involved in. Maybe you can glance at it. It was a thread that Rob shared. The guy's talking about the mythical casual fan.
Yes.
So I'm let me see, because I'm terrible at this tech stuff, so bear with me. Share via Twitter direct message. Jace, there it is. Okay, so it's coming your way. It'll be up in your Twitter DM. If you get a chance, just kind of glance at it. Don't go down the well. It's long, it's stupid, but the gist of it is he's basically saying there's no such thing as the casual fan. It is the long and the short of this ridiculous thread.
So just reading his first tweet, the analogy he made off the top is one of the most just outlandish, overly thought things I think I've ever read. So I can tell.
It doesn't get it. Let me spoil. This is a spoiler. It doesn't get any better.
I never expected it to.
So we can add that in there. I know we were going to talk about the Batman at the end of this whole thing. Jace, you're welcome to sit in, or if you want to bow out, it'll probably be spoiler filled. But that's entirely up to you, buddy.
Yeah, I figured depending on time at that point, if we're running late or something like that, I'll just bow out at that point because honestly, I don't care about spoilers, but at the same time, I've not seen it, so I'll have nothing to add. So,
all right, fair enough. Anything else that we wanted to put in there before this? Was there anything else, guys?
Just when we're closing out, I would just give a congrats to Dolph Ziggler, but that can be.
We can spend 2 minutes on that. Because we're all going to put that over. I feel like so that's a positive thing.
100%. All right, so Ziggler gets the main. I won't say the main event, but he gets to close the show. So that covers everything, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 topics.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right.
Good.
So I'm going to stop the recording here, and then I'm going to restart it, and we're going to get into this thing, okay? Like I said, this is the Mindless Wrestling Podcast, YouTube exclusive creative huddle. This will be up on the YouTube channel hopefully by the weekend. So if you haven't seen it up there yet, it will be up there. Look us up on YouTube, the Mindless Wrestling Podcast.